Now about the environment. They are having a meeting on environment. That too is only solved through spirit. All environment problems can be solved only spiritual if you have spiritual ascent. Otherwise you can't. You try anything, it's like patching up the sky. See now, it's a very deep-rooted thing that we don't understand, that spirit is the most practical thing. You see, we think spirit, we think it's like a drunkard. No? Spiritual man is a cult. He's a drunkard. He's most abnormal. It's funny. Either he hits people or runs away from them. This is the idea we have got about a spiritual person. But just see, you are spiritual. You will find it impossible to use plastics after some time. Because you will know that the plastics give you horrid vibrations. After some time, you will find it repulsive. It's all right to sit in a train for a while on a plastic coach. But to sit in your house on a plastic all the time would be horrible. And to wear a plastic coat all the time, our body will refuse. So when people will be spiritually awakened, they'll give up all these nonsensical things. So they may say, then what will happen to the machines? Now machines are for us, we are not for the machines. This is another concept, is whatever create is for us, and we are not for that. Alright, doesn't matter. Nothing will go wrong with the machines. Machines should be used for anything that is a public work. Like for your motor cars, for your trains, trams, all public work which is outside. For houses at the most, you can use machines. But for personal things, you must use handmade things. For spiritual people would like to wear something that is handmade or real. When I can't wear a nylon sari, not that I am very fussy about things, but I just can't wear. After some time, if I do not take out my socks, which are only nylon, what to do? My vibrations get jammed completely. So you won't be able to wear next to your skin, near your body, eating your food, everything in plastics, cooking in plastics. I mean, it's too much. Thank God, cooking I don't think is possible, isn't it? But aluminium is another thing. It's very bad. Aluminium you won't be able to use. You'll either try copper or brass or things. Now handmade things will you have because they are made by hand, so they have vibrations. People would like to have handmade. It is a part. So by that you remove the disparity of the world. Developing countries can do handmade things. You cannot beat them with computers, can you? You go ahead mad with your computers. You will have to come back. Must understand the whole. If you don't understand the whole, this is what is happening. Like mad, computers going ahead. Where? Into the ditch? Into a big mountain. Now they have created big mountains of plastic. They don't know what to do with it. So, now with computer, what will they do? They'll create a greater mountains out of plastics. Maybe Himalaya might be created with the computer. So the developing countries should not try to follow these mad people on one side. They should develop their hand things and all that because they'll have to come back. Now the handmade things in this country are so important and so expensive. You don't care whether it is pressed or not. But in India you have to take nylons because nylons is a symbol of development. Not of overdevelopment perhaps, but of development. So they must take to nylons and plastics and to stainless steel and aluminium if possible. That's what we are doing. When you have less things, consumed like that, you use less things from your motherland. Because handmade you cannot go on mad like a machine goes like a Rakshasa, eating away everything and producing more. It has to live like that. It is not economical. So when you have handmade things, you have more value for your things, you look after them better, you feel better, you are comfortable, and you need not be that smart, you see, machine made. That idea of smartness is going now. So the developing countries should also learn a lesson. They are going after you, they are running fast. They try to run faster, they cannot. Thank God, they cannot. But they should stick on to that side. You see, one part of the country has to do something, another part has to do something else. But you people have to look after the side of machines, all right. I mean, handmade things, what can you make? Some ceramics, I think. Apologies. Some apologies for that. You better do what you know better. And let them do what they can do better and share. If this balance is established, there is no aggression. Unemployment can be solved. All the problems can be solved if you take to handmade things. We should take to handmade things. As far as possible, Sahajogis should use handmade things. I mean, not the cars, but for their personal use. Even I would say soaps that you use are horrid. The soaps that you get in England are not meant for your skins at all, for Sahajogis. I can't bear them. What you have to is natural soaps that you get from any country if you like, but natural soaps, which come from natural oils. Foods also, natural food you must eat, more natural food than artificial. All that will give you a better living, and that is called as alternative. All right, that's alternative is important. But that doesn't mean you go on a bullock cart. You can export your trains to India or your cars to India and get khadi from there. All right? Mutual understanding. Because we are part and parcel of one whole. And we just cannot exist by our only growth, because then we become malignant, you see. One cell eats another. You have to, if you have a machinery, you have to eat other. Because you produce so much, you must find markets for them, you must supply them, you must send over, then you must have other countries to exploit them. People have tremendous respect for Mahatma Gandhi, but I don't know if people understand what he said about machinery. That doesn't mean the people who are doing machine work should give up by any chance. But some of them they can close down. For example, plastic toys for children is horrifying. You can't even get wood toys now, nothing, just plastic, they're touching plastic. I mean, imagine you cannot feel any plastic. So, this is what a sane Sahajogi has to understand. That's how you can solve the problem of environment also. Thank God, somehow with your affluence and too much of machinery, all the Western people, I'm happy to know, even in Portugal, realize the value of handmade. But in India, if you offer somebody in a handmade thing, they say, oh God, they have no money. But stainless steel, great. In a stainless steel glass, they'll give you tea. You see, it's very big. If you give it in a ceramic, what is village craft? They have to be told. But if you create a demand, they'll be all right. They'll look after their handmade thing. And here you can't do much. I've seen, you see, that neatness, that deftness is not there. That's lacking now. You lost it. Very few people have that left in them. Even if they have to cut one coat with their hands, they cannot do it. They have to use a machine which cuts 25 coats at a time. Then this problem of you have to have a figure exactly because these only can fit certain figures. You can't have your own independent figure. This is all machine-like stuff, you see. You all must have that figure, otherwise it doesn't fit it. So that is an ideal figure. So everybody works out for that. See, there's a new machinery comes up, you see, for that kind of a thing. The new styles they come up. It's such an artificial thing. All man-made, artificial. From your democracy, your politics, to your economics, to all your so-called ideas of creativity, everything becomes so artificial. Now people can't paint. What they paint, if you see, you are just aghast, you don't know what is this supposed to be. And it is supposed to be this, but it looks, there's a hand, isn't it? Can't you see that? Yes, I can. It's a little bit showy. They can't do anything. We can't have Shakespeare. We can't have Gagi. We can't have anyone of that time. We can't have the Abraham Lincoln. We can have only machines, you see, bolts and nuts fitted nicely. You fixed, you are fixed, you are fixed, you are fixed. Everybody fixed nicely. Where will this brain go? Where will this heart go? What will it do then? It cannot collapse. I mean, as long as you are existing, the heart has to beat. So all this artificiality has to be overcome by Sahajogis. The responsibility is so great. Such a big building you have to bear on your shoulders. And the foundation stones have to get up in the morning. To be chiseled out properly. So I end up my lecture today. May God bless.